Hello everyone, today is an Empties video, and if you're watching my channel, you know my Empties videos are really my review videos. I do prefer to form complete and solid opinions on products, so I use them, if not up entirely, then mostly before I share my opinions, because let's face it, sometimes those first impressions really don't pan out all that great, and we end up regretting what we had said about products or changing our mind about them. And that happens, and it happens a lot. It happens more than you think it happens. Especially, when you're watching some of the YouTubers who do throwback videos and then they review whether they still love the favorites from previous videos or not. A lot of the time they're not using them, or don't really care for them as much as they used to. So I try my best to actually give the product a good go. And I really prefer to have fewer things per video, but it's just the way it panned out. I sort of had a burst of finishing things up, and so here we are. Let's start with body care, and I am going to mention yet another one of those vanilla or La Vanilla, the healthy deodorants. I've raved about them for a long time. My favorite is probably the original and the blackberry. Well, the blackberry is number one. I really like the blackberry, and then blackberry vanilla, and then the original is a close second. I tried a new flavor to me, and this is vanilla passion fruit, and this is inferior, I'm afraid to say. I did use it up completely. The scent is inferior, that's true, but I guess a scent, in my personal opinion, is inferior, but it's a matter of opinion. More objectively, or still subjectively, but rather more objectively than just a scent evaluation, this is not as effective. I'm not sure why, because the ingredients do seem to be very similar, if not absolutely the same, but somehow this one is not as effective as the blackberry one or as the original. So I won't be repurchasing the vanilla passion fruit because, well, I didn't find it as good as the others. I don't think it's bad. It's still reasonably functional and it worked okay, but I did find that it wasn't as effective in controlling body odor up to the very end of the day. I think what I have right now is a little bit better, and I'm sure I will report back eventually on the one I'm using right now. It's another La Vanilla. I'm just on a La Vanilla binge right now. If you find this price point objectionable, try the Schmidt's in the stick. I don't really love scooping things with my fingertips out of jars, so the Schmidt's deodorant in the jar is to me not as comfortable as a stick. Their sticks are fine. I like the texture of these a little bit better, but for price difference, I think Schmidt's is quite a good buy, and I would recommend it. Now, of course, what I'm saying covers the natural, clean deodorant sticks. If you're not particularly fussed, then go ahead and do your drugstore thing, because there's not really a conclusive set of data that points to the fact that aluminum or antiperspirants are harmful. There's some questions about their there's no question about their efficacy. They're very effective, but there's some question about long-term effects. I prefer to stick with the natural ingredients and the natural deodorants. So if you're in that boat, the two best ones that I found are definitely the La Vanilla, which is my favorite, my preferred one, and also the Schmidt's, which is not my preferred one, but I gladly use it, and I've used multiples up. I have my favorite scents. I think the rose one is my very favorite scent, and it works really well as well. So, you can pick and choose depending on your budget, whichever one fits better into it. We have a body gel or shower gel, the Body Shop Honey Mania shower gel. Honey Mania is one of my favorites, if not the favorite scent from the Body Shop. I've been buying these for years. They're fine. They're just a body gel, a body wash. Not a big deal, whichever one you're using. These are not the best ones I've ever tried. They're not the worst ones I've ever tried when they go on sale. I like to pick up a few of my favorite scents, and Honey Mania definitely is one of those favorite scents. So I think if you like the scent, it's worth it. It's a regular body wash, nothing special. So, up to you. Then this guy is one of the few products that I did change my mind about, and it is the Nuxe Rêve de Miel Super Balm. And it says for face and body. So this one was in my hero products. My hero products are like my favorites, but on steroids. My hero products are the products that I'm reaching for all the time for a specific utility. And I do like to film videos about hero products specifically because those tend to be the stuff that I use up and repurchase and the stuff that I really like to have around for use. This guy used to be in my hero products. If I had to refilm this video, I would not put this balm in there because I found better options. This is not my favorite balm. And I mean, it's not that effective at moisturizing. It's pretty good. And if you don't know any better, probably you're going to find this really nice. I mean, it's definitely better than the Burt's Bees one. Burt's Bees one really kind of is crappy, the hand salve balm. But I found better balms that I enjoy a lot more and the scent of which I enjoy a lot more, although this does have a very, very pleasant scent. And the ingredients are non-objectionable, but I think there are just better options out there. So I wouldn't put it in my hero products today. At the time I did, and that's fine. I was reaching for it a lot. I finished it up. I wouldn't repurchase it. I think there's better stuff out there. And with time, I'll share the better stuff that I'm mentioning now because I'm currently actively using it. But I'm not going to report back until I've, at least hit pan on some of the stuff that I'm using. Let's talk about hair. Hair. Hair-wise, I have a dry scalp. I have dry ends. I have this wavy texture. This is my hair without any styling in it. So it does its own thing. I let it nowadays before I go through periods of time where I'm more into styling and I will curl my hair with a flat iron or style it somehow. And sometimes I'm just not into it and I don't want to do it. And right now I'm in that phase where I don't care about styling. I don't want to do it. I just want wild whatever this is, and I'm good with it and I like it the way that it is. So this is what I like right now. And so I'm on a kick, as you probably know if you're watching this channel, I'm on a kick for trying to transition, at least partially, if not completely, into more natural skincare and hair care. You need to be green and natural and organic times everything. That's not me. I'm not an extremist when it comes to these things, and I don't think we will all die if we have silicones in our products. But I'm kind of interested in dipping and exploring a variety of options that are out there with clean, good quality products that avoid all the harmful ingredients or potentially harmful ingredients that might be in your skincare, in your food, in your bath or body care, and in your hair. So I've tried this little duo, which is Inner Sense Pure Harmony Hair Bath and Inner Sense Pure Inspiration Daily Conditioner. Now I have to say, again, this is just a caveat of the reporting back about skincare or hair care or body care, particular to my personal state of skin or hair or body. And with regards to my hair, well, like I said, I have dry scalp. I have dry ends. So somebody who has oily hair and washes their hair every day is going to have a totally different opinion than myself. But you want to find somebody who is closer to where you are, and then perhaps their advice is going to be more useful to you. So I actually don't wash my hair often. So this lasted me months. and I'm pretty sure a normal person could use these up in a week with once or twice a day hair washing. Some people wash their hair a lot. I don't. Again, I have dry scalp, dry hair. I wash my hair once a week. And I'm not a fan of frequent hair washing. And I have a video I'll link down below where I'm discussing hair care and my personal hair care. So I'm not a fan of frequent hair washing. I'm not somebody who does that all the time. I'm also not somebody who's very fussy about their shampoo, for instance. But, I really enjoyed this shampoo. My probably favorite is Rawa. All these natural shampoos, unfortunately, tend to be pretty pricey. So it is not going to be cheap if you want to transition into cleaner hair care. You'll probably pay more than your regular drugstore prices. This is fairly mid to high end in terms of the price point. At least that's how I perceive it. But I did really like the shampoo. I thought it was effective. I thought it was very gentle, and it was More gentle than most shampoos that I've tried. It was kind of similar to the Rawa one, but Rawa one doesn't foam. This one does if you want lather. This is not bad. This was really, really quite pleasant to use. And this one, the Pure Inspiration Daily Conditioner, was a nice conditioner, and I think it would work for most hair types, but for my dry hair, I need like a hair mask on a weekly basis. So whenever I wash my hair, basically, I think my preference is really with a hair mask and with something much heavier, much more nourishing, because I do need extra moisturization. This was just not enough. So I suspect that it would work well if you have normal to oily hair. You probably will enjoy it because it's not heavy. It's quite lightweight and it's pleasant, and the texture is lovely. But it just didn't give me enough moisturization for my dry hair, and I have a preference for heavier products in terms of conditioning. So probably not that one. That one I probably wouldn't repurchase. The hair bath maybe, but I'm not super fussed about it. I didn't think that it was so special that I would change my shopping habits just to buy this. Let's move on to face. Let's start with cleansers. First cleanser I'm going to talk about is this Corpa Flora Beauté Divine. This is a local to where I live. It's a Canadian company. I'm not sure where in Canada it was made, but it says made in Canada. And it also says that it is cruelty-free, so that's important to you. They make cruelty-free products. And it is a cleansing oil. It says for all skin types, has vitamins A, B, C, E, omegas 3, 6, 9. So like the fatty stuff that you would expect to see. There's 120 mils here. It lasted me fairly well. They don't have a list of ingredients on the bottle, which is not good. I don't like that. I want to see the ingredients plainly displayed on the bottle. Instead, they say here what this doesn't have. It says without mineral oils, silicones, parabens, sulfates, and nanoparticles. Well, I mean, thanks, but I would really rather see what ingredients you do have in there. And I'm sure it was on the box when I purchased it, but you know, who keeps the box? Maybe they are counting on you not being able to find the box when you need it. So I have actually no idea what kind of ingredients are in here, because I always expect things to be listed on the bottle, and when they aren't, I'm like, oh, well, that's weird. They say it's the botanical cleanser that is suitable for all skin types, luxurious oil, melts dirt, excess oil, makeup, sunscreen, waterproof mascara. So they say that it removes waterproof stuff. I don't wear waterproof stuff. I'm not really sure. Maximizes the effect of nutrient-rich facial oil complexes without altering skin's natural hydration or hydrating process. And it's 75%, 74.5% organic, which is fine, nice. I like that. It's a nice touch. Gently massage 2 to 3 pumps onto dry skin with dry hands. Add warm water. The oil will emulsify into milky lotion and melt makeup and dirt. Rinse well. So this for me is only a first cleanse. So I can't use that as an only cleanser because it does leave a residue behind and it does not emulsify and wash away completely. So no, I don't think this is the best oil ever. I think the ingredients are, I'm assuming, good. I don't know because they didn't put them on the bottle, but this leaves your skin pretty hydrated. It is very effective at removing makeup, but it just doesn't rinse off as well as I like it to. So minus points for that. In general, I don't think this is worthwhile. I don't think it was bad. Obviously, I finished it off, so I didn't hate it, but it's just, I would pass. Something I would recommend though, this was sent to me, and this is Lowen's Get Buff Exfoliating Facial Cleanser, and I used up their face and body cleanser before as well, also in a mini format. And as the same formula, this one has a little bit of exfoliating particles added to it, which I don't really like. So I would go not with this one, with the face and body one. It is moisturizing, creamy, slightly lathering cleanser that you can use as a first or a second cleanse, or both. Also, what I do like is when you have a cleanser that works as both. It's non-stripping, softening, as well. It's EWG certified and cruelty-free and vegan, so very good points for that. It does have some palm oils and coconut oil based ingredients in here, so if you're sensitive to those, not for you. But in general, this was a lovely cleanser. I loved the texture. I loved what it did. It didn't dry up my skin. It left it really nice and soft. It wasn't oily or greasy. It was just wonderfully formulated. I really liked it, and I think it's a worthwhile purchase. So in the future, I have tons of cleansers right now to try out. But in the future, once I get through things, I would repurchase this. And I think that their price point is rather fair for a clean company with excellent ingredient deck, which I've checked. They do have a good ingredient deck. And thank you, even on a trial size, they printed their ingredients. That's important. Take note, divine, please. So Lowen's did a very good job with this formulation, but I wouldn't go for the buffing, the Get Buff one, the exfoliating one. I would go for the other one. I prefer my exfoliation to be chemical. I like my acids for exfoliating, so I don't really need to polish my skin. I don't like manual exfoliation quite as much, and I don't think there's just enough here in terms of those scrubby bits to incite a good quality exfoliation. They're very, very finely milled, so they're not abrasive. I don't mind them. They're so gentle that I did use my entire face with it, including around my eyes. So those exfoliating particles are just a bit of a joke. They're not really exfoliating, I don't think, or they don't do much, which I like actually. I don't love having a cleanser that is packed full of those like beads. I do think that exfoliating in a chemical way is a much better bang for your buck, and it's also a gentler way to go, and you can dose it much easier if you know what you're doing. So this buffing thing I wouldn't go for, but basically the formula is exactly the same. To me, at least, it feels like the texture's basically identical. So go for the face and body one and use it for your face. I think you might like it a little bit more than this one. It is really easy to use, and it can be a one cleanser that you wash off your makeup with, and then you just do a little cleanse afterwards with a small amount again as a second cleanse. So first and second cleanse, thumbs up, really good job, Lowen, at formulating it. I did like it. Then we have a Nyad product. Nyad is part of The Ordinary. It's just maybe a slightly higher end brand or higher end line that The Ordinary has. Perhaps it's their primary line. I'm not sure which one's primary, The Ordinary or Nyad. Anyway, in any case, this is the multi-molecular hyaluronic complex. It's a 15 ml bottle. And to me, I mean, it's basic hyaluronic acid, but here they claim that they have different molecular weights. So the size of the molecules of hyaluronic acid differs here. And the theory is that it penetrates the skin at different levels, and those molecules settle and retain moisture at different levels of your skin. Practically, they have a much cheaper version in the Ordinary line, so the basic line. Honestly, I've tried both, and I really have not noticed a difference between the two in terms of the function. So yes, theoretically, this should be more effective, but I did not find that it made an actual practical difference to how my skin felt or looked. So I'm not sure that I would recommend the Nyad over The Ordinary in terms of the line of products in the brand. And I think that you can buy the base one and it would be working just the same. So get the hyaluronic from The Ordinary line, not the Nyad line, because honestly, for me, there wasn't a difference. Maybe somebody else might notice a difference, but I didn't. I thought the hydration levels were about the same. To have said that, I don't think I'll be repurchasing either of them. I've tried both of them, but I won't be buying either of them because I do like hyaluronic acid to be basically the base of the other active ingredients that I might want in my products. So I'll be probably, instead of buying hyaluronic acid separately, just buying it in combination with other things so that I get a little bit easier time with layering. I don't want to be layering in a million products. Maybe I'll just get stuff in hyaluronic acid so that I don't need to put hyaluronic acid in separately, if you know what I mean. Speaking of things that have hyaluronic acid in it, this was also sent to me, and this is Definitive Rose Whole Plant Organics Eye Cream. Now, I'm very, very glad that I got familiarized with this product, or this line of products, rather. I actually really like the Definitive Rose line, and I've enjoyed multiple products from that line. I am currently using their face cream. This is their eye cream, but I used this eye cream all over my face because generally I don't make a strong distinction between how I use my face creams versus eye creams. You just don't want the cream under your eyes to be very heavy in texture or full of comedogenic ingredients, because that will make you develop milia potentially. So as long as you're using a lightweight cream, it doesn't really matter. You don't have to use a separate eye cream. You can if you want to, but it probably won't make a practical difference in your routine. You can just get a lighter texture moisturizing face cream and use it under your eyes as well. So Dermatologically, there's not really a huge benefit to using an eye cream unless your face cream is occlusive. Like, for example, maybe don't put the very, very nourishing overnight mask under your eyes. That potentially could cause issues. But other than that, you can use a lightweight cream under your eyes. It's fine. It doesn't have to be eye cream. So here, this was an eye cream, but I used it as an eye and face cream. I used it as an all-over cream, and the good thing is that there's a 1 fluid ounce in here. So this is actually a really good size for an eye cream, very generously sized eye cream. So if you're looking for eye cream and you like using a separate one, this is a very good one. Excellent ingredients, as I said, because you're getting like a full fluid ounce in here. That's very nice. Usually eye creams are getting skimpy with like 15 mils or 20 ml bottles. Here you're getting full 30 milliliters, 1 fluid ounce, basically what you get in a face cream usually. Ingredients are flawless. I'm very, very happy with the ingredient deck, and I'm so happy with it that I'll let you know the key ingredients here. It's fabulous. So you have filtered water, rose petals, grapeseed oil. I love grapeseed oil. And rosehip oil for skincare, and rosehip oil is here as well. That's the next ingredient. It does have beeswax, so if you're completely cruelty-free and you don't use bee products, you won't be able to use this. But if you like clean, natural products with really good ingredients, you would like it. Then we have sweet almond oil, potassium sorbate. There's also rose oil, jasmine oil, rose wax, vitamin E, and hyaluronic acid. Again, speaking of hyaluronic acid, this is a really lovely formulation. It's lightweight. It's sort of gel cream on the creamy side and easily absorbed. Just really, really good. I would actually spend my own money on it, and I don't think they're exorbitantly expensive either. This particular one costs this much. In Canadian dollars, I think. It's a Canadian company, and they're Quebec based. So actually Pointe-Claire, so I lived close to there before, and I've never really known about this brand when I was living in Quebec, which is a shame. I could have probably come and seen the facilities where these things are made. So Definitive Rose definitely impressed me and did a very good job in formulating this cream, and I am currently using their face cream, and it's also just as good. So good job. I would definitely purchase from Definitive Rose. I think they're excellent in terms of their formulations, textures. Like, they pay attention to their textures, and it's a very elegant textural formulation, so good job. I'm really hoping maybe they can make a sunscreen, because if they can formulate a sunscreen with that kind of texture, I would be super happy about it. Speaking of sunscreen, again, oh, you see how this all ties together. We have a Hint Beauty Day Prep Defense Primer. Again, a clean product. Not everything that I'm using is, but a lot of what I'm using is because I've been slowly switching to cleaner products. Cleaner beauty, and it's reflected in my empties, obviously, now that I'm starting to really use things up over time. So this Hint Beauty Day Prep Defense Primer is something I've raved about in the past and something I've had in my favorites, and I stand by it. It's a good thing. This is a good piece of skincare. It is a bit pricey though. There's 15 mils, there's a pump, it's convenient to use. So, and it's not a tiny 30 mil size either, but it is like 70 bucks. So this guy in Canada is not marketed as sunscreen, but it does have SPF 25, and in the States it is marketed as a sunscreen kind of facial moisturizer. This is lovely too. Really nice formulation, very pleasant texturally. And it is titanium dioxide 9% in terms of the physical sunscreen. And I do prefer physical sunscreens instead of chemical sunscreens because there's little to no absorption into the actual skin. Like factory created chemical sunscreens that actually get absorbed into your skin and work by absorbing the sun rays while they're sitting inside your skin and a little bit on top of your skin, and then they get processed by your body. So your internal organs process those SPF molecules. They're not dangerous, at least as far as we know, but for me, I much prefer the idea of SPF like zinc or titanium dioxide sitting on top of my skin and reflecting the rays, so they never really even enter the dermis. Hopefully, if you're applying it right and the right amount and reapplying as you should. So Hint Beauty was really actually a good choice for me. It's low grade SPF. Oftentimes, you don't really need more than 30 anyway, because the benefit is marginal. I really like the formulation. It's lightweight, it's fast absorbing, there's no flashback, there's no rubbing in, there's no grease to it, and there's no white cast. All good things with regards to this guy. The only thing I have to say is that like just burns my eyes a little bit if I get it on my eyelids, so I avoid eyelid area. Normally I would apply sunscreen everywhere, including the tops of the eyes. With this one I couldn't because it was slightly irritating to my eyeballs, but you know, you might not have that problem if you're not a fan of smearing sunscreen at absolutely every millimeter of your body or of your face. So this was a favorite and I think it's good. I have half a mind to try a different sunscreen because I like the elegant texture of this, but I'm a little adventurous about my sunscreens and I do want to experiment. There's one that I'm kind of having my eye on, which is Aaron's Faces. It's a good amount of SPF, and I hear that it is actually a very nice texture. So I'm looking forward to trying that one and then comparing the two and seeing which one is most beneficial in terms of, you know, the texture, the feel, the effectiveness, the moisturization, the ingredients, and the price. So we'll compare them, but Hint Beauty is a good one. So if it wasn't clear, we've moved on to like skin prep / makeup now. We have a Clinique Pep Start Pout Perfecting Balm. This little guy surprised me. It's in the color Guava, which is sort of baby pink. It's pretty sheer, so it wasn't so objectionable. Usually that's not the color I'd go for. It's not particularly attractive to me, but it looked really nice on the lips, and I just decided, well, if I'm going to use up a bright pink, let me use it up in the summer when I'm actually like wearing brighter colors. So I did, and I really liked the texture. This is one that snuck up on me a little bit because I just purchased a set of them at Sephora checkout line. Yes, I've fallen prey to their marketing strategy, and I totally purchased it on a whim, exiting Sephora, trying to pay for my stuff. And that happens a lot to people, actually. They're very smart about how their product placement within the store. It's a science. So this guy, I am wagering to say I may like the same, if not better, than the Fresh Sugar balms, like the tinted lip balms from Fresh Sugar. This is cheaper. And the texture is wonderful, and the moisturization factor is really great. So now I'm thinking like maybe the reign of Fresh Sugar over my wintertime balm game is over. Perhaps it is up to Clinique now to fill that gap, and maybe Clinique is the better choice. I like the bullet. They're not as soft as Fresh. Fresh can be a little soft and a little janky. This is a little bit less soft, but still very, very nourishing. Applies in that, you know, thick layer of very nourishing balm as I like. I don't like things that immediately are absorbed and you don't know where they went. It's shiny, which I like, and so is Sugar. It's shiny as well. This could be a replacement for that at a lower price point. So think about it, guys. This is pretty great. I haven't read the ingredients, but the texture and the feel in the lips is very, very nice. It's not quite as thick as the Sugar, Fresh Sugar, but it's wonderful. And in the end, the objective is to keep your lips hydrated, and this thing does that. I am yet to test it in the winter, so don't hold me to it until I get to it in the winter, but in the summer, it works beautifully. Okay, now we're parting with this. If you've been a part of my channel for a while, you absolutely have seen this before, and this is Chanel Les Quatre Ombres in 232 Tissé Vénitien. I've had this in multiple videos. I've had this probably for years, I have to say. And I've used up an entire color here, the light pink, and there are dips in all colors, and it's that beautiful greeny, green colored, green vibe that I really, really like. And I've loved this product to death. You can see how used up it is, but I think it's time to let it go. I think I'm not reaching for it as much as I was, and also it's like 3 or 4 years old, so it's definitely time to let it go in terms of the quality of the shadows. The shadows still work. The color that I used the most out of this is gone. This is my second most used color, and I do like it, but I have others kind of like it, and it's not like so unique anymore in my collection. The other greens are nice, but I don't use them on an everyday basis. in general, it's just time for this palette to go. And I count it as used up because I've just used up so much of it that I think it's worthwhile mentioning. But I'm done with this, and I don't really see myself purchasing Chanel quads going forward in the future anymore. I used to be quite a Chanel fan, and I purchased their limited edition collections often. I think I'm over it. I don't think I consider Chanel an interesting brand for me at this point. First of all, I like a little bit more innovation than what Chanel's been doing. And secondly, I just don't think they're very adventurous with their color selections. Although this is a particularly lovely quad, but this is probably the most interesting thing they have in their entire lineup. And I think they're also overpriced for what they sell. I think quality is there. It's not bad quality, but I can pay less for a similar texture, and I'm just kind of over Chanel in general, for now at least. When I'm seeing them release is not something that piques my interest at this point. I used up a mascara. Yet another mascara down. It's Smashbox X-Rated Mascara Volumetrieux, and I like it. This was actually really great. It really reminded me of the Hypnose Drama. Slightly different brush, but very similar in texture and effect it gives on the lashes. Really nice formula, didn't flake, really lasted well on the lashes. I loved this. I think I like the Hypnose Drama just a touch more, just really little small amount more, because I like the funky brush, but this one was like really basically very, very similar, if not the same thing in terms of the effect that it gave on the lashes. If this was on sale, I would grab it. If it's not on sale, I don't think it's worth it. There are plenty of drugstore mascaras that are just as good. Now, this janky old thing finally finished. This was also in my project pan, as well as the lip balm. Those two things were in my project pan. And this is Mineral Wear Talc Free Face Powder from Physicians Formula. I've spoken about this at length. I've had it in my hero products because it is. I've bought it multiple times, so many pans of this I've used up in my life. I don't even know how many. So once the powder, any powder, not just this powder, but once a powder gets just around the edges, there's that tiny ring around the edge. Some people will crush it and repress it. I don't do that. That's just too much hassle for me. Makeup for me is supposed to be fun. I don't want to work hard on using makeup. So once that crushed and started crumbling up, I just threw it out. The crumbles I threw out, and then I just put that into my Empties. I've been using this powder for years, so you know I love it, and you know I've bought it many times over. The packaging is my only complaint with it. I love the formula. I think it's a really good formula. Sits very well on, I think it's for any skin type, but on my dry skin, it just is beautiful. Packaging. Packaging is the complaint that I have. It is ugly. They have a different kind of package for their most recently released pressed powder, and it's this one's Physicians Formula, the Healthy Powder. I have filmed a review on that. I do like it. I think it sits very nicely on my skin as well. In fact, I don't think those two are totally dissimilar. I think out of the two, I do prefer the old one, the one that they've had for years, rather than the new one. But the new one has a nicer packaging. It just looks a little bit nicer, not that much nicer. It is cheap to the touch, but it looks better than this packaging. This is bulky, but Physicians Formula is known for bulky packaging in general, and I'm willing to forgive the product because it's actually a wonderful product. The quality is there. It's just the packaging is kind of meh. I hope they repackage it someday into something a little bit more elegant. Perfumery. We have 3 fragrances that I've used up, and I've filmed about all 3 of them, so I'm not going to spend a long time here. I'm going to link below the reviews for all 3 of them, so that if you're interested in any particular one, just go for it and watch a dedicated video. First of all, the very elegant but questionably sane Calypso from Robert Piguet. I finished it off. I pulled it out for review. I've reviewed it. I've worn it to bits. I had about a third of the bottle left, and I finished it off. And it's a very interesting fragrance. I have a questionable review about it. Question that doesn't necessarily paint the person who would wear it in the brightest light, but it's quite an interesting scent, and I would recommend that you check it out if you're curious about the scent. This one, this is Bamboo Harmony by Killian. So another niche, very expensive fragrance. And I had quite a big sample size of it. It's rather large. This is for a slightly anal retentive person. Very, very clean, very Japanese minimalism feel. Very interesting. And I did film a review about this one as well. So linking down below, figure it out and see if you are curious about it. And then we have lastly the Elizabeth and James Nirvana Bourbon, which is a woody vanilla scent, which I thought was decent. Again, review down below. So go see the review if you want more detail on the fragrance. So that's it for today. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Comment down below if you have something to say about the stuff that I've used up, or you have any questions for me about, well, the stuff that I used up or something else, whatever. See you later. Have a wonderful day and good luck. Bye-bye.